Good morning, everybody. It is Friday. Have a few things to go over about position sizing today, but before I do, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. And again, everybody, I am not a financial advisor, so please just take that with a grain of salt. Sit back, have a sip of coffee, and let's see if we can figure out some winning trades in the market today. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is position sizing. Without knowledge of the position sizing, a lot of the beginner traders make the mistake of risking too much money per trade. This is very, very important. Not all of your trades are going to be winners. I don't care what strategy that you're using, you are not going to win 100% of the time. At best, I think I remember seeing a stat somewhere like the best traders in the world were between 30 and 40%. My strategy that I use is much higher than that. It's very rare, but even with my strategy, if you get out of position and you start waging way too much per position, you can be in the negative very, very quickly when things go wrong. So I just want to go through this a little bit. When you're starting with a very, very small account, let's say between 1,000 to 2,000, you're going to be wanting to look for options that are very, very cheap. One of those options that one of the stocks that I always like playing because the options are so cheap usually is like US Steel. You can pick up options there for 30, 40 cents, and that way you can wage, you get two or three different options at a time and still be within um, your single position size. So when you're at about 2,000, you want to keep your limit to be about $200, no more than that. It's going to be very, very hard at the beginning when you have $2,000 in your account to stay disciplined, because you're going to see trades that are $300, $400, $500 that you're like, man, if I had the money to do that, or if I just put a little bit extra into this trade, I can really make a lot of money. But if that trade goes negative, you just lost 25% of your account or 50% of your account, and that's really a hard hole to dig out of when you're at a $2,000 account or a $1,000 account and you get knocked down to 500 bucks. Then you have to be very, very disciplined, or you're going to have to go talk to the wife or the husband and say, hey, I got to go reload my account with another 2 grand. And I get it. Not, some people are more fortunate than others and can start with larger accounts. But for a lot of people that are beginning, they start with $1,000 to $2,000, and that's just trust me on this. You're going to want to stay within $100 to $200 for your position size. As your account grows and you get about 5,000, you can bump that up to about $200 to $300. Once you get about 10,000 in there, bump that up to about 250 to 500. 20,000 and up, I don't like to risk more than 5% of my account at any time on any trade. So that would be between $1,000 to $2,000 on a $20,000 account. If you get up into like the $50,000, $60,000 range, I even like to drop that down to about 2% to 3% of my account. So I don't want to be too heavily vested in any position size, especially if you have two or three different things open at one time and the market just collapses on you basically. And that's happened to me before. I've had been in 5 or 6 different positions, and a couple years ago where our president would say something and the whole market would just tank. And when you have options that are expiring that week or the week after and they don't recover in time, your account takes a hit. And if you had 50% of your account in there, that really hurts. But if you've only got about 5% of your account vested, it's not that big of a deal. So just again, guys, be very, very disciplined with your account size. The other thing is, don't have too many things going at one time, especially when you're starting out. You need to learn to manage a trade. Have one, maybe 2 positions open at one time. Once you start getting comfortable and see how things are moving, stocks move, options move, how you're better at charting. You understand resistance and support, and then maybe you can start bumping things up and maybe get into 2 or 3 positions at a time. I get uncomfortable if I have more than 5 positions open. And I have a 65-inch monitor that I'm looking at all my trades at the same time. Um, I have multiple monitors, multiple computers, and I still don't feel comfortable with having that many things open at one time, because when one starts to run, if another one starts running, it's very difficult to catch them. And I don't like to do stop losses. I do not. That's just something I don't do. I feel like the market sees it and they're going to stop loss you and just pop you out of the trade, shake you out, and then the stock goes for a run. I don't like to do that. So I prefer to actually watch my trades. It's very boring, but I watch them all day, and I can manage them the way I want to manage them live. So that all being said, let's go ahead and review a few trades. Yesterday, I was working live with somebody on the phone who is learning this TPS system, but I instead decided to go ahead and work on an earnings play for U.S. Steel. Um, this one we entered in a long trade. We bought the 30, I believe it was December's, the $30 strike price, anticipating a bump up after earnings. And I also purchased a spread when the stock was at 23.28. So I bought an unbalanced spread on that, meaning that I bought two puts for every one call, and they were just cheaper. So I covered. I apologize. I'm on the wrong stock for them. I did buy a spread on this one, but it was a balanced straddle. That's what I did on this one. I'm sorry. And I did also purchase a spread on pins. And this one, I apologize for misspeaking earlier. This one, I bought a unbalanced spread. So I bought two puts for every one call. Pins has earnings. Let me go out to the daily here so you can see. I believe on the 4th. So I'm in a little bit early, but the one thing I like about this, Pins has a history of gapping down after earnings. If you pay attention here, we got earnings here, big gap down. Earnings here, big gap down. Earnings here, there was a gap up, but it does have a tendency to gap after earnings. So we've got earnings coming up over here on the 4th, and went ahead and bought a unbalanced straddle here, two calls. I'm sorry, two puts for every one call, and anticipating a large jump, uh, either up or down. I really don't care which way it goes. I should make a pretty significant amount on that trade. And then going back to X, going to U.S. Steel. Um, bought it. I bought the spread here, and also bought the call, anticipating this to go run up to about 30. And I don't normally do this type of play through earnings, but spreads are great for earnings, and I just ended up seeing this. I like playing U.S. Steel. If you guys follow me at all, you'll see that in some of my videos. I've made 1,000%, in a few minutes on U.S. Steel. And this one here is up to 26.19. Hopefully it continues going up. Our options should probably double to triple in value from yesterday. And, always be on the lookout, though, because a lot of times you'll get a stock that opens high, it gaps up, and then you get the sell-off and gaps down, and just sells straight down. So at the beginning of the market, you're going to want to see what's going on. If it continues to go up, great. Figure out where your exit's going to be. My exit's going to be pretty tight here, and I don't want to give up any any gains with a sell-off here. So I'm going to be watching this here in about 12 minutes here we've got. And so I'll be managing this trade very closely. And if it does decide to sell off, maybe I'll get out of my call position and then purchase a put on the way down. So we'll see. Depends on how fast it's moving and how quickly I can get in and out of these things. So, but that's what the trade is this morning. And again, I'm in a unbalanced straddle position, two puts for one call with pins. and just speculative. I got into ISEE. I did one of my students noticed this play, so bought a very small position in this. Let me zoom out here very quickly. Um, it's not my typical setup, but it's very close. We've got a gap up, and it kind of gets into a flag position. We've got a squeeze, and I'm going to anticipate this maybe running up a little bit and taking a small profit. I don't see this making 100% profit, but maybe I can squeeze out 40-50% on an option and move on to another trade. I do have a couple other things. I still have ALF that I purchased at an IPO. It's very, very low. They had some really bad news with their CEO last night. I guess there was a mismanagement of funds, so that stock is going down for right now, but I am still in the positive. I did purchase some DWAC just to see if that can get a little bit more of a run up. Purchase more of that in the 40s. I think it's up around 70 right now. MACD, this was just a horrible, horrible buy that I bought on a tip from another trader. I'm just looking to get out of this trade, to be honest. MCMG, they had some good news, so I purchased this a little while ago, and it's had a really, really nice run up, and I wasn't paying attention, and I missed it earlier to sell. So today I will probably be exiting this trade if it gets a little bit more of a run up. And what else do I have? Fun, PHUN, fun with a PH. This one here, I got a huge run up on this one. On the initial run, it came back down, touched the 8-day, and I jumped back in. I'm up very, very slightly on that one right now, anticipating it to run up another couple dollars. I don't ever see it going back to 24, but maybe we can get $7 or $8 out of it and make a little bit more profit. Again, this is not a TPS play. This is just other plays that I have been doing because our TPS setups have not been coming up. So that all being said, the market's getting ready to open. I want to get ready to get my trade set up and be ready. Good luck, everybody. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.